What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video on the Texas Rangers Report. And if this is your first time watching the Texas Rangers Report, make sure to subscribe because I'm your #1 source for all things Texas Rangers on YouTube. So the topic of today's video is, what is Adolis Garcia's future value for the Texas Rangers? Obviously, he's having an extremely good 2021 campaign, and honestly, I don't think anybody really expected this because the Rangers designated Garcia for assignment earlier in the offseason. And if you guys don't know what that means, they basically got rid of him from the organization to clear a 40-man roster spot. But then they quickly gave him an invite to spring training because nobody claimed him on waivers or anything like that. And he had a good spring training, and we all know the story from there. He got called up, and he's been raking ever since, and he's been showing what he can do on the defensive end because he has a pretty good arm, and he's pretty fast as well. So what's the value? Because the Rangers have had a roller coaster of a season. We've beat really good teams, and we've lost to really good teams as well. And given that Garcia is 28, would the Rangers be looking at trading Garcia come the deadline? I would say the Rangers' #1 trade chip come the deadline is probably Kyle Gibson, because he's pitched extremely well, and obviously he only has a year and a half of control left, so that just makes sense. Maybe even Joey Gallo, but we'll just see how the Rangers handle that. But Kyle Gibson would make sense because teams are always looking for pitching come the postseason. But would it make sense to trade Garcia? I don't really think so, but I understand why people would consider it, or if the Rangers president of operations Chris Young and John Daniels would hear calls for Garcia, because the Rangers are still losing games, and if you're able to trade a 28-year-old Garcia for some prospects that could hopefully help you out in the near future, that does make sense. But do we really think that there's going to be a team that's going to offer some top-of-the-line prospects for Adolis Garcia, who's only proved that he can hit in the majors for half a year now? I honestly don't think so. Even though he's played really well, I don't think the Rangers are going to get the prospects that they want. So say, for instance, when Gavin Lux and Dustin May were prospects, say the Rangers want to trade Adolis for those two players, I don't think the Dodgers would ever trade Adolis for Gavin Lux and Dustin May because he's just unproven, and for all we know, he could be another Danny Santana. But I really hope that's not the case, and here's my instance for keeping Adolis Garcia. So the Rangers have said that they want to compete within the next 2 to 3 years, so if you keep Garcia, that fits in the timetable. Of course, if you trade Garcia for a prospect that could get called up pretty soon, that would also fit in the timetable. But Garcia is controllable for really cheap for an extremely long time, because this is like his first full year in the big leagues. I mean, he got some playing time last year, but it was not that much, and he got a little bit of playing time when he was with the Cardinals, but it was hardly any time. So this is his first full year in the majors. That's why he's still being considered a rookie. And honestly, if the Rangers really want to pursue Trevor Story or Clayton Kershaw or some of the top free agents, wouldn't it make sense to have Adolis Garcia on the team, because he could be a good recruiting chip? But say you trade Adolis Garcia away, who's almost the same age as Trevor Story, or they might actually be the same age. It doesn't really make too much sense, in my opinion, because Trevor Story is going to cost like $30 million, whereas Adolis Garcia is only going to cost a few million for like the next 6 years. Of course, Trevor Story is a proven player, but who's to say that this cannot just be a late bloom for Garcia? Because the Rangers have had plenty of late bloomers, like Josh Hamilton. He was a late bloomer as he was a Rule 5 draft pick. Nelson Cruz was a late bloomer. And then we also have signed plenty of older free agents as well, like Adrian Beltre and Shin Soo Choo. Adrian Beltre obviously worked out. Shin Shu-Chu has had his ups and his downs. So if the Rangers are worried about Garcia already being 28 years old, I think that kind of has some drawbacks because they have shown interest in pursuing a Trevor Story who is about the same age but would cost a whole lot more, or they have signed older free agents as well. But Garcia, he's going to be cheap for long, so if he doesn't pan out, then we don't really lose anything unless we get a really good trade offer from another team with some really good prospects. That would suck to lose out on, but I don't think any clubs are going to be offering top of the line prospects because I think Garcia is too unproven at the moment, and teams still think that he chases a little too much. Don't get me wrong, I think Garcia is extremely fun, an exciting player to watch. I also think he has a really good chance to make the All-Star team and a really good chance to win the AL Rookie of the Year. I made a video about that already. I'm just stating the facts that if you were another team, say we're trading with the Miami Marlins. I know that doesn't make sense at all, but would you want to be trading JJ Bleday and another top prospect for an unproven player? Just think about it from another person's point of view. So yeah, I think it would make sense to keep Adolis on the team, even though a trade would make sense. I don't think that the Rangers would get as the prospects that they want in return. But also, I think Adolis is a good chemistry guy for the team, and Chris Woodward likes his chemistry and culture guys as well. So with that being said, I'll thank you all for staying to the entirety of the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys want to see on this channel. Do you want some mock drafts? Do you want MLB The Show? Do you want more of this or trade rumors? Just let me know, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.